You are Locked On Vandy, your daily podcast on the Vanderbilt Commodores, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Oh my, we just watched, about a 3-hour regulation basketball game because there were approximately 63 fouls. And when I say approximately, I guess I actually mean exactly. Vanderbilt stays undefeated, beats Alabama at home, 96-90. It is Isaac Schade. It is Corey Burton from Locked On Vandy to break it all down for you. Corey, I realized earlier today I wore Vandy-ish colors, so I think I brought some good juju on this Wednesday as we record. Man, a crazy game. And I tell you what, my friend, we got to start by talking about none other than Tyler Tanner, who rises to the occasion as Duke Miles fouls out of this basketball game. What did you see from this dude tonight?
I mean, he was creating all night long, whether it was assisting or the 29 points he put in. I mean, the guy has just turned into a superstar. And one of the things I talked about coming into the season and even at the midway point, going from non-conference to conference play, the thing I noticed the most is he got in the weight room. His biggest need was getting bigger, stronger, faster. I mean, he got pinballed a lot last year, and that kind of hindered his development. That kind of hindered his performance. He was able to bulk up a little bit, and now he can drive, he can sustain, he can finish at the rim, and he can distribute, he can shoot. I mean, he's got all the aspects of his game rolling right now, and he's a great leader. He understands what Mark Byington wants to accomplish, and he's kind of the guy that brings everybody together, because if you know anything about this Vanderbilt team, like him, Tyler Nickel, and Devin McLaughlin are really the only holdovers. They lost everybody in the portal. So those three guys, with the leadership of Tyler Tanner especially, have really brought this group together, and they've meshed well and they've meshed fast.
And I'll tell you, the nice thing is, even with all that bulking up, he has not lost an ounce of speed. He is an absolute blur from one end to the other. All right, Corey, we got to zoom out and look at this, because a big storyline coming into this game was obviously Vandy is one of 6 remaining undefeated teams at 14-0, but there haven't been really any like high level wins. The best wins coming in are probably St. Mary's, SMU, UCF, etc. Nate Oates spoke into that. He called the schedule soft. I would not have called it soft, but what I would agree about is that it didn't have any like elite level wins. And after this win, you have to change that entire narrative. Corey, what does this win do to validate Vandy so far?
Well, it finally gives you that elite win that people are like, oh, it's Vanderbilt. Okay. Now they have to pay attention, because at first it was like, okay, well, you beat St. Mary's. Okay, they're not as good this year, but they were a tournament team, and they did make a bit of a run. You look at Wake Forest, stable program, consistent program. You go into Winston-Salem, and you just obliterate them. Like, I think that what people just didn't realize is that, yeah, they played the games on their schedule, and yeah, it wasn't soft, but it wasn't exactly the murderer's row that people were trying to make it out to be.
Right.
But what they did in that schedule run, I mean, the Memphis win also, but what they did in that schedule is they absolutely, I mean, I think their average margin of victory is like 22 points in their non-conference schedule. And so they took care of business. And I think people kind of overlooked that a little bit and realized, okay, well, they dominated. There's a reason they dominated, because they are a complete team now.
Yep.
And it kept getting better and better and better. And this is the exclamation point on that. You at home, you host an elite Alabama team who is incredible in their own right. 90 points should be enough to win a basketball game, and it wasn't enough tonight.
No, it absolutely wasn't. Part of that is because both teams spent most of the night at the foul line. Corey, in this game, Alabama, 34 fouls, Vanderbilt, 29 fouls. That is a grand total of 63. Both teams set a season high in free throw attempts. Bama, 38, Vandy, 50. Corey, like it was weird because it felt like the game was so entertaining. It did get slogged down by the fouls. What was that a product in your mind of the refs? over adjudicating the game, or did it need that? Did you think they were doing was it too much whistle? Was it just the right amount of whistle? Where were you at with that?
I thought it was too much whistle. I don't think they could handle the speed of the game. Like, there was fouls in there that weren't fouls, and there was non-fouls that probably were fouls, right? And I think the volume of the fouls was too much because they just assume, okay, this guy gets to the rim and he misses, it must be a foul. It's contested, they bump, whatever. And you're going to get different things with different officiating crews, and I get that. It's going to ebb and flow, but I think it just went a little too high on the spectrum of foul calls.
Yeah, I mean, good grief. It just so much. Now, on the Bama side of things, part of what they're going to talk about is, look, we didn't have Aiden Sherrill in this game, who was expected, it was like, is he going to be in? Is he going to be out? He didn't end up playing. Unfortunately for LeBaron Philon, who is one of the front runners for SEC Player of the Year, played 4 minutes of the second half, checked out after those 4 minutes, and never was able to come back in. But look, Corey, every team's got nicks, bruises, cuts, injuries. If I'm Vandy, I don't care. I don't feel bad for you. Sure. It is what it is. However, for Alabama, man, how much does that hurt neither having Sherrill nor your dude in LeBaron Philon?
I mean, it obviously does hurt, but injuries are a part of sports, and people need to realize that. Like, if Tyler Tanner goes down, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, you're going to probably take a step back. It is what it is. But, yeah, he is their best player. You can tell it when he's in the game versus when he's out. It doesn't diminish the win whatsoever. I know a lot of fans probably will say it does, but it does not.
It does not.
It does not, because you still scored 90 points without Philon. And like I said before, 90 points should win you a game, and it doesn't. So that, for that, injuries happen. That just so happens that Alabama got the wrong guy injured.
Yep.
And it just, yeah.
Absolutely. And for Alabama, it was a great opportunity for Amari Allen to step up, get 25. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Aiden Holloway, great as usual with 22 points himself. And Corey, one of the things that impressed me the most about Vandy is they had all this foul adversity, had 4 players with 4 fouls, less than midway through the second half. Eventually, Duke Miles fouls out. Alabama makes some critical runs, goes up by 4 earlier in the second half. And I just loved Vanderbilt's resilience to keep pushing. We talked about Tyler Tanner already, but man, when Duke Miles went down, I literally typed in my game notes, someone has to step up. And it's been him with Duke Miles out with injury lately. But man, his ability to do that again in this high level environment, man, when you have that 2-headed monster of those guards, it's great for Mark Byington.
Yeah, no doubt. And it just makes the game flow so much, because you can't focus on one guy. You can't focus on Tanner or Duke's going to get you. You can't focus on Duke because Tanner's going to get you. And if you focus on both of them, they're just going to kick it over to Tyler Nickel, and he's going to knock down some threes. Or one of the plays of the night was Tanner shook some dude, drove, lobbed it to Washington, and Washington about took the rim off.
Yeah, absolutely did.
And just like things like that, where you can incorporate your big guys, because Okiriki and Jalen Washington are both averaging double digits on the season. So you've got that presence inside as well that you didn't have last season. And it's just a complete team. Like, you can't focus on one aspect, because they can beat you from 3. They can beat you driving. They can beat you in the paint. They can beat you on the free throw line. They can beat you defensively. Like, that's what Vanderbilt does. And Alabama is pretty much – Alabama, with their style of play, is a carbon copy too. Like, they're both the same exact team in the way they play.
And man, yes, if you're Devin McLaughlin, you're like, oh, Coach Byington, thank you for bringing me some help here in the front court. I love it so very much. Now, while they are some carbon copies of each other, one of the things that was different in this game is Alabama, because of that play style where they're just getting threes up all game long, literally took 40 threes in this game to Vanderbilt's 20, made a whopping 9 of them. Yeah, they are susceptible to having games like that, Corey. And like that is the modern basketball. But sometimes you're going to have nights like that, particularly on the road, in what I thought was a great environment. I love that Mark Byington said, hey, look, We have gotten here and we deserve to have a game like this, an environment like this. What can you say, Corey, to the environment? Heck, as we're just at January 7th, school just kind of getting back around going. How important was that in this victory?
I think the term Memorial Magic has meaning now.
That's right.
I don't think it's quite had the same meaning in the last 9 years. So you get that, like, the fans will start to flock in now. You've got a team that could end up being a number 1 seed if they continue on this trajectory. Now, that's a long way to go, and there's a lot of basketball between now and then in order to achieve that, but that is on the table. And it's because they play an exciting brand of basketball. They've got some relatable stars. Hometown guy in Tyler Tanner played right down the street at Brentwood Academy. You've got a coach that is just – he's been on point since he walked in the door. From day one, he's been on point. And the fans believe in him. It's a great program. Memorial's a great venue. And when it's packed and it's rocking, there's very few places that can compete with it.
I also thought there were a couple of head-scratching mental miscues from Alabama. There was the Nate Oates technical foul, which I know is probably him trying to rile his team up. It didn't work. They never recovered from that. There was also the weirdness of the 2 kind of delay of game penalties where Alabama shot a second free throw, where the player, Bull Bowen, had the first one, just kind of flopped it up. Aiden Holloway had the other. So Vandy gets a technical free throw out of that. And it's just, those are the kind of things you cannot do against a team the caliber of Vandy on the road and expect to win. Corey, to your point about 1 seeds, postseason thoughts, all of that, folks need to remember, this is the only time this regular season these 2 teams are going to play 2 of what I think are the front runners in the SEC right now, in an SEC that is not as epic level as it was last year. And so for Vandy, this is a massive step forward. Corey, as we talk right now, Ken Palm projects Vanderbilt to win every game the rest of the regular season. Are they going to? Absolutely not. I mean, it's just not going to happen. But man, you'd rather be in that spot than projected to lose every game. So Corey, hosting LSU on Saturday is next up for Vandy. As for Bama, they host Texas on Saturday. Full expectation is that the Commodores keep rolling. What do you expect to see now going forward that this team has been more validated than ever?
They just continue to score. The scoring output speaks volumes. It is like drastically better than last season. It is drastically improving each and every week. Just the scores that they continue to stretch out these scores against these teams, like a 6-point win over Alabama, who is again one of the front runners in this conference, in this league. That's a big win. Like, that margin kind of doubles given the circumstances of the caliber of team that they just did that to. So you just keep seeing the scoring output. You keep seeing the different ways to score. Like your field goal percentage and your 3-point percentage are very, very close, which is great because your field goal percentage is usually pretty high, which means you're getting to the rim, and your 3-point percentage is naturally high because your 3-point shooters can actually be 3-point shooters and not have to take on other roles. So this team being complete like the way they are, they're going to be able to score in different ways, and that's going to make them valuable down the stretch, because you get a team like Alabama who relies on the 3. This is what I hate about modern basketball, because there's a lot of teams like that can get to the rim, but that's not their philosophy. I think you should be able to score driving through the guards, feeding it through the paint, and a healthy dose of 3-point shooting. So if you can have those aspects of your game, you're going to be more valuable come tournament time when everything tightens up.
All right, this Vanderbilt team, man, it keeps on rolling. I'm so excited to see how long this undefeated streak will go. Who's going to be the last undefeated team in the nation? Because they all just keep winning, as several others did on Wednesday night. We're going to get to talk about some more of those, plus UConn's epic comeback on Wednesday night at Providence. All coming up in just a second. Make sure you all check out Corey and all his great work on Locked On Vandy. Obviously going to be covering all the great stuff going on as this team stays undefeated. Transfer portal season for football. Great stuff. We just saw an epic FCS national championship game on Vandy's field the other day. Holy smokes. You all Go check out Locked On Vandy. Big shouts to Corey Burton. We'll be right back in just a second.
First, I want to tell you about Rocket Money. Yeah. Can you imagine? Let's be real. Managing your finances can feel overwhelming. Between subscriptions you forgot about, bills that keep going up, and trying to figure out where all your money actually goes each month, it's easy to feel like you're losing control. And who has time to track every transaction or hunt down hidden fees? That's where Rocket Money comes in, the personal finance app that helps you take control. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bill so you can grow your savings. So I was shocked when Rocket Money showed me that I was paying for ESPN twice because I was paying for two different subscription plans, but I had like gotten it through one part and the other, and it just got to be redundant. So thanks to Rocket Money, I was able to find that in just a few taps. And also the automatic transaction categorization is a game changer. Like I can figure out how much I'm paying for takeout each and every month, which is unbelievable. It's eye-opening. And I can finally see exactly where my money is going each month. I can set budgets, get personalized insights. You can do all this as well and receive real-time alerts for large transactions, upcoming bills, and low balances. It even consolidates your checking, savings, loans, investments into a single dashboard so you get a clear view of your entire financial picture. So let's do this. Help me help you. I'll help you help me. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon.